I've found myself stuck in cycles that seemed endless. Promises of change, lists of goals, exciting beginnings, and abandonments halfway through. It was frustrating to look in the mirror and realize that deep down, I was still the same. Same patterns, same habits, same results. It was only when I decided to challenge myself with clear, simple, and short commitments that real transformation began. No more one-year plans, no more endless waiting. I wanted something that would shake me now, something to pull me out of inertia, something that would put my body, my mind, and my money in the direction of the woman I wanted to become. That's how this idea was born. 7 challenges in 30 days. Small in size but huge in impact. And when taken seriously, they don't just transform you, they make you unrecognizable. If this topic has already sparked something in you, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around until the end, because these 7 challenges might flip the switch in your life in just 30 days. Challenge 1. Spend 30 days without negotiating with your word. I realized the first person I betrayed, almost every day, was myself. I promised to wake up early but hit snooze. I said I'd save money but spent it just this once. I swore I'd work out but convinced myself tomorrow would be easier. And little by little, without noticing, I lost the power of my own word. How could I trust myself if I didn't follow through on what I said? That's when I created my first challenge, 30 days without negotiating with my word. It didn't matter if the promise was big or small, I had to keep it. And if I wasn't sure I could, I simply didn't say it. The first days were tough. The impulse to justify and make excuses was automatic. But every time I honored my word, my self-esteem grew. Not because the world noticed, but because I noticed. I started to believe in myself. And when you believe in yourself, no goal stands in your way for long. This challenge wasn't about rigidity. It was about rescuing my trust in myself. And that trust became the fuel for everything I built after. Comment, I honor my word. If you also understand that becoming unrecognizable begins when you stop abandoning yourself. Challenge 2. 30 days without impulse spending. One of the biggest leaks of my energy, and my money, was always impulse buying. I told myself I deserved it, that I needed it, that it was just this once. And the worst part was, most of the time I didn't even remember what I had bought days later. It was like I used money to numb my emotions, but in the end, I was just adding more weight. So I set my second challenge, 30 days without impulse spending. The rule was clear. No purchases that weren't planned ahead. If I wanted something, I had to wait 48 hours before deciding. That simple filter eliminated 90% of useless expenses. At first, I felt a strange emptiness, because I was so used to filling my discomfort with new things. But soon I realized I didn't need more stuff. I needed more clarity. And when I learned to separate desire from need, lightness replaced guilt. By the end of the 30 days, it wasn't just my bank account thanking me. It was my mind. Because I realized that controlling my financial impulses was, in fact, controlling my life. Comment, I master my impulses. If you also understand that freedom begins when you choose what to buy, not when you buy to fill a void. Challenge 3. 30 days starting the day before the world. I used to wake up at the last minute, rolling out of bed late, grabbing my phone, replying to messages on autopilot, and starting the day already chasing the clock. It was like the world decided what I would do, and I just reacted. That routine left me drained before I had even done anything. So I created my third challenge, wake up 30 days in a row before the world. It wasn't about waking up at dawn, but about waking up with intention, at least an hour before external demands. That time was mine, to write, meditate, organize my day, or simply sit in silence. At first, it was a battle with laziness. My body begged for more sleep, my mind made excuses. But I knew, if I wanted to become unrecognizable, I had to change the root of my routine. And the root begins at waking. With time, this habit became a game changer. Starting the day with myself gave me clarity, focus, and a sense of leadership over my life. I stopped reacting. I started acting. And that simple shift changed the quality of all my days. Comment, my day starts with me. If you also understand that waking with intention is the first step to becoming unrecognizable. Challenge 4. 30 days treating your body as a priority, not an option. I always put my body second. If I had extra time, I'd work out. If I had the energy, I'd eat better. But in reality, there was rarely anything left. And I lived tired, heavy, and unmotivated. And I kept convincing myself that my problem was just a lack of discipline. Until one day it hit me. My body is not a detail. It's the foundation of everything. Without energy, I build nothing. Without health, money means nothing. Without vitality, even my achievements lose their shine. That's when I set my fourth challenge, 30 days treating my body as a priority. Not as punishment, not as aesthetics, but as an act of respect. I committed to 3 pillars: move my body every day, drink more water, and choose foods that strengthened me, not sabotaged me. In the first days, my body complained. But soon, the difference started to show. More energy, more mental clarity, more lightness. I realized that taking care of my body was taking care of my money, my productivity, and my identity. Today, I no longer see health as a luxury. I see it as a requirement. And I understood that becoming unrecognizable begins with the body that sustains everything I want to live. Comment: my body is my priority. If you also chose to stop abandoning yourself and decided to treat yourself as the foundation of your wealth. Challenge 5. 30 days investing time in learning about money. For a long time, I avoided money topics. I thought it was complicated, too technical, far from my reality. As if talking about investments, finances, or organization was reserved only for rich people. Meanwhile, I kept repeating the same mistakes and wondering why I never moved forward. Until I realized I wasn't going to get rich by running away from the very topic that builds wealth. That's when I created my 5th challenge, 30 days dedicating time, every single day, to learning about money. It wasn't always hours of study. Sometimes it was a short article, a 10-minute video, a podcast during a walk. The important thing was not a single day without learning something new. At first, it felt repetitive, but soon I noticed that knowledge was shifting my mindset. Scarcity beliefs started to lose their grip. I began to see opportunities where before I only saw limitations, and what once felt distant started to become natural. Today, I've learned that studying money is like brushing your teeth. It has to be a habit, because the wealth I want to build requires constant awareness. Comment: I learn about money every day. If you also understood that wealth doesn't come from luck, but from applied knowledge. Challenge 6. 30 days practicing silence and inner focus. I used to fill my life with noise. Loud music, nonstop notifications, endless conversations, social media open at every break. It was like I was afraid of being in silence with myself. But deep down, it was that very noise that kept me stuck in the same life. No clarity, no presence, no vision. That's when I defined my 6th challenge. 30 days practicing silence and inner focus. Every day at least 15 minutes with just me. No phone, no distractions, no escapes. Sometimes writing, sometimes just breathing, sometimes facing my own thoughts with no filter. At first, it felt uncomfortable. My mind raced, trying to fill the space. But over time, silence began revealing what noise had been hiding. I discovered patterns, recognized fears, better understood what truly mattered. This challenge gave me an invisible gift: clarity. And clarity is one of the greatest assets a woman can build. Because when you listen to yourself, you know where to go. And when you know where to go, nothing outside distracts you for long. Today, silence doesn't scare me. It strengthens me. It's where I return to my center and remember who I chose to be. Comment: my silence strengthens me. If you also understood that becoming unrecognizable means having the courage to listen to yourself in the middle of the noise. Challenge 7. 30 days saying no to what doesn't bring me closer to the woman I want to be. I spent a long time saying yes to everything. Yes to invitations I didn't want to accept. Yes to expenses that made no sense. Yes to people who drained my energy. And every yes I gave to others was a silent no I gave to myself. In the end, I felt exhausted, with no time, no money, and no direction. That's when my final challenge was born. 30 days saying no to everything that wasn't aligned with the woman I was building. It didn't matter if it was a social commitment, an unnecessary purchase, or even a conversation that added nothing. If it didn't bring me closer to my vision, the answer was simple: no. At first, it felt uncomfortable. I was afraid of disappointing, pushing people away, being judged. But with every no I said to what didn't make sense, I was saying an even stronger yes to myself, to my time, to my focus, to my growth. And in that process, I discovered something powerful. Those who respect your no's learn to respect your journey. And those who don't were never really with you. Today, saying no is no longer guilt. It's direction. It's maturity. It's clarity. Comment: my no's build my freedom. If you also understood that becoming unrecognizable requires protecting your energy and your choices. When I look back, I see that these 7 challenges weren't about big external achievements. They were about me, about how I respect myself, how I see myself, and how I choose to act every single day. In just 30 days, I realized transformation doesn't have to take years. It starts with small decisions carried out with consistency. Honoring my word, taking care of my body, protecting my energy, learning about money, saying no without guilt. These steps may seem simple, but they're the ones that made me unrecognizable, from the inside out. And if I could do it in 30 days, so can you. Not because it's easy, but because it's possible. Becoming unrecognizable doesn't come from a magic promise. It comes from a real commitment. Comment: I accept the 30-day challenge. If you've also chosen to stop waiting and decided to start now on your journey to becoming unrecognizable. And of course, if this video strengthened you, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who also needs that push to transform their own life.